There's a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
Hello, leader.
Step into leadership.
Welcome to Live to Lead 2022.
This event is an opportunity for growth. This event is an opportunity for you to invest in your leadership. This event is an opportunity for you to make the most of this year. And it all happens right on your computer. We're inviting you to learn from a few intentional people that I've invited to share the stage.
Eric Thomas, Dr. Tim Elmo, Darius Kynes Goodwin, and Patrick Lencioni. And in Ghana, we have Patrick Ewa, Gwyneth Jima Ado, Kathleen Addy, Patricia Obonai, and James Ebo White.
At our virtual event, there will be opportunities to participate in Q&A, live chat with other growth-minded leaders, engage in polls and other audience engagement tools so that you're a part of the conversation. We've made this so not only can you join, but your team can join with us also. So join me as we bring you Live to Lead, a virtual event, and together, let's make the most of this year. I don't promise you it will be easy, but I do promise you it will be worthwhile.
Live to Lead Ghana is brought to you by CTL Africa, Yalpebi Group, and SJA Consult.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie and I'm excited that I just completed a 15-week journey with the CTL Africa team on the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell.
From the law of pain, I also learned that every problem introduces a person to himself. Honestly, till you face a problem, you wouldn't know the things that you actually have within you.
The journey for me personally was a wake-up call. Before I joined this journey, I wasn't actually learning at all. I wasn't adding any logic to what I knew.
So the law of trade-off is saying that you have to give up to grow up. So things that I think are not going to have maximum impact on my life, I have to trade them off.
I want to grow. I am not stopping now. I am continuing. And as far as I'm concerned, like it says, you cannot give what you don't have. I definitely will have to give what I have learned off to others and then get more so that I can continue giving. I am not going to be a reservoir. I am going to be a river, and therefore I'm going to continue learning to be able to give of my best.
Ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results on a consistent basis if they have a system, if they have a plan.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm excited this evening to join all of you on the Leadership Platform. It's 7 o'clock, and we want you to tune in and invite your friends, invite your family, invite everybody, because today we are going to learn so many great things, especially those of us who are working at the work environment. How do you lead? How do you address the issues, the current issues that face every worker, and which leaders must be aware? As we all know, a leader is not just the one who has a position, but a leader is all of us. All of us, in whatever position you are leading, and you have to just assume that leadership position. So this is going to be very, very important for all of us. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. I have the team already. Kofi is here, Sarah is here, our speaker is ready, but we would like to know all of you who are here on the platform. So go ahead and introduce yourself to us as I invite Kofi to share with us our upcoming event, Live to Lead. And I want you to take note of Live to Lead, which is coming on October 7th. It's a whole day event, but you would have this event available for 3 more days. We will talk a bit more about this. But as you join, please introduce yourself, and we would invite Kofi to share the Live to Lead video quickly, and then we'll come back.
Hello, leader.
Step into leadership.
Welcome to Live to Lead 2022.
This event is an opportunity for growth. This event is an opportunity for you to invest in your leadership. This event is an opportunity for you to make the most of this year. And it all happens right on your computer. We're inviting you to learn from a few intentional people that I've invited to share the stage.
Eric Thomas, Dr. Tim Elmo, Doris Kearns Goodwin, and Patrick Lencioni. And in Ghana, we have Patrick Ewa, Gwyneth Jima Ado, Kathleen Addy, Patricia Obonai, and James Ebo White.
At our virtual event, there will be opportunities to participate in Q&A, live chat with other growth-minded leaders, engage in polls and other audience engagement tools so that you're a part of the conversation. We've made this so not only can you join, but your team can join with us also. So join me as we bring you Live to Lead, a virtual event, and together, let's make the most of this year. I don't promise you it will be easy, but I do promise you it will be worthwhile.
Live to Lead Ghana is brought to you by CTL Africa, Yalpebi Group, and SJA Consult.
Thank you very much. And this event is on October 7th, and we encourage all of you to begin to register. The link is on. If you can share it again on the chat so that people can pick the link. You can also call us so that we can help you to register. We have only a few weeks to go on October 7th, and it is important. Amazing discussions will come up, and I believe that our speaker will share a bit of that as he goes along. But this evening, we are going to talk about the issues that we face at work. Lots of us are challenged, and especially if you're going to a workplace for the first time, sometimes you get shock. It's called cultural shock. Things that happen in the workplace. It's either you're meeting a colleague that you're not aligned with, or you're finding a boss difficult to deal with, or you're going through systems that are challenging you. your expectation at work may not be coming true. And as a leader, you need to navigate this one. How do you do it? If you are the boss, there are things you need to be aware of: your people, of system, of times, of changing, of technology, and so many more things that you need to understand if you really want to lead at a certain level. So we want to encourage all of you, because this is important for all of us, so that we will be able to bring everybody on board. We're encouraging you to invite your bosses inside the room. We are inviting your bosses and your subordinates into the room. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. I can see already Douglas Amoate is here. Douglas is here from Tema always. I see Geshon Yao W is here. Geshon, you are welcome from Bamako. Thank you so much. Hope everybody is fine. And Ebenezer Tufo is here from Toulouse, France. Ebenezer, thank you so much. Dennis Ahe is here. He says it's good to join. So please go ahead to introduce yourself, because we take great pleasure to announce to the whole world that you are here on the leadership platform. This is where you have to be. So we need to know that you are here. We are aware that so many of you, when you join, you prefer to listen in silence. That's also fine, but please go ahead. Again, please share your learning as things go along. If there are lessons you are learning, feel free to type them into the chat. If you appreciate any point, feel free to type them into the chat. Ask your questions, put your questions into the chat, so that when the speaker finishes, we can come and address them. And I tell you all the time, most of the time, we are learning much more at the Q&A session. So don't leave because the speaker has finished presenting her core lessons. There are always much more nuggets that the speaker will be keeping, and the specific questions will bring out more of the relevant issues of what people are dealing with. So please stay tuned till 7:30, till 8:30, when we draw the curtains down. So please feel free, introduce yourself. And this hour, we have with us a speaker that most of you who join all the time, you would have met her already. She is not a stranger to this platform. She's been here before, and when she was here, there were so many topics that people were saying, "Oh, we should bring her back. She has to address that. She has to address that." So she's been kind enough to come back again on the leadership platform this evening to join us. And I'm talking about Mrs. Patricia Abena Kissi. And Patricia is an organizational and a human resources consultant. She's been helping several organizations in addressing their people issue, in recruiting for people, solving systemic issue, and giving them ideas on how to make the workplace better. So when you are talking about workplace, we can have no better person than Mrs. Kissi, who has been here before. As I said, she's the founder and CEO of Sedat Consult, which is a human resource development organization. She also deals in business development, consulting for organizations, and she's also an author. She's written a book, or books. So she will share with us some of the books so we can get them to buy. All right. So without much ado, as John Maxwell would say, if you are good, you don't need a long introduction. So, and we know our speaker is good, so we are not going to give her a long introduction. In fact, if you're not good, a long introduction will not help you. So we are not giving a long introduction because we know our speaker is wonderful and she's going to come with us. In the meantime, I see Emmanuel Wulo Willendorf is here. Abu Mohammed Sadat is here. It's not Sadat Consult. Setiab Nkrumah is here. Gakpo Sejro is here, and Daniel Mreku Jamra is here. You are all very, very welcome as I welcome with gladness Mrs. Patricia Abena Kissi to share with us the common workplace challenges and how we can navigate or handle this as leaders. Mrs. Kissi, welcome to the leadership platform once again,
Thank
and
you.
I'm ready for you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you once again for having me here. It's always a pleasure. This is a huge platform, and it's always an honor and a privilege to be on this platform. Thank you, everyone who has joined, and thank you for the many others who will join the course of the discussion. I'm really grateful. Sam, thank you so much for opportunity to share my views, my experiences as it pertains to the workplace, especially in the area of leadership, and how leaders can manage the various issues that arise at the workplace. So let me share my screen, then we'll begin to zoom into the conversation. This is a conversation every leader must have, and I'm going to focus mainly on the issues to be articulated, but then I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of the leader and how the leader can actually help employees in that regard. I have had experiences with many employers and employees alike, and per the experiences I have had with them, I've come out with what I consider to be the most common workplace challenges that leaders can help employees to navigate through. And I'm sharing with you 7 of them that I think, per my experience and per the interactions that I've had, per conversations that I've had with leaders and employees, as well as the workplace experts, I'm sharing this with you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Like Sam said, after the presentation, there'll be an opportunity for questions. And please ask your questions, because like Sam said, this is where we learn the most. We learn the most during the Q&A. So please, if you have any question on your mind, don't leave here with those questions, but let's help you get an answer to the questions. So if you are ready, come with me as I share my screen. Okay, so if you are with me, just let us know at the comment section that you are with me. We are ready to go. So we are talking about the common workplace challenges today and how to handle them as a leader. Like I said, my focus is on how the leaders themselves face these challenges and how they will help employees to navigate through the challenges. Some of the things that I will share with you, you realize that some of them you may have experienced, others not too often, but today the workplace is so volatile. It keeps changing and nothing is static. So you will learn more even as you go through the presentations. I've been introduced, there's no need for me to say more, but only to say that the book that I have authored is Uncover the Hidden Self. My passion for career development actually pushed me to do that. And the next book is in the offing. Go to the Ant. You really love it. So look out for it. Thank you so much. Okay. So we'll look at who a leader is. I will not go into detail because this is the leadership platform. And we have a lot of John Maxwell followers here, myself inclusive. We know who a leader is. And so we'll not talk much about it, but we'll dwell more on the 7 most common workplace challenges and how leaders can handle them. But let me share this with you. John Maxwell says the pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, but the leader adjusts the sails. And so as for workplace challenges, they exist. As a leader, you can choose to complain about them, or you can choose to not do anything about them and expect that it will change. But see, things don't just change. You have to make things change. So the leader, the onus is on you to come up with strategies, ways that will help you deal with those challenges so that the goals of the organization will be achieved. And that is why it is important that we're having this conversation. And many of the things that we'll share too will come up at Live to Lead conference. And I encourage all of us to be part of it. It will really help us a great deal. So John Master said leadership is about influence, nothing more, nothing less. So who is a leader? Anyone who influences. And anybody at all, whether you have a title or not, whether you have a position or not, you are an influencer in one way or the other. So all of us are leaders at various stages of our lives, at various levels of the organization. And so let's see ourselves as leaders, not take ourselves out of the equation or out of the conversation, because we are all leaders in one way or the other. And like John Maxwell said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And I love this so much, because you can't give what you don't have. You can only give what you have. So what is it that you have? How can you ensure that people really get to know you and go along with you? You have to model the way. You have to show the way. Lead by example. And that is all that matters the most. So what are the 7 common workplace challenges today? And I've said that this is based on my own experience and the conversations that I've had with people, leaders of the workplace. So I'm sharing them with you, and we can see how we can navigate them. Now, the first challenge that the workplace faces today is the fact that we have so many generations working at the workplace at the same time today. So for the first time in history, we have 5 generations working at the workplace, 5 generations working side by side. And these generations come with different perspectives. They come with different values. They come with different thinking, and they act differently and behave differently. So as a leader, how you can manage these different generations can be very, very challenging. Because, okay, so I'm sure that per the information I gathered, this will be discussed in detail at the Live to Lead conference. But let me open your eyes briefly to what it is about. Then during the conference, you can get more information in detail about it. So we have the traditionalists, or what we call the silence. These are people who were born between the years 1925 and 1945. They form just about 2% of the working population today. Most of them have gone on retirement anyway. Others are also following suit. Some of them too are on retirement by on contract and all that. So they are still with us at the workplace. And we have the baby boomers, those born between the ages of 1946 and 1964. We have the Generation X. That is my generation. We have the millennials, and then we have the newest addition to the generations. That is the Generation Z. And they come with different desires. For example, for the traditionalists, they value so much systems, structures, procedures, and all that. And opposite, Generation Z, they don't care about those things. You know, they just change the rules. They want flexibility. They want individualism. They want to be treated as persons and not employees. So if you are managing them and you're using the way you are managing the traditionalists to manage them, you get lost and you'll be so frustrated. And the millennials too, the way they see things are different. For them, they value work-life balance. So for a millennial, you can give all the money, but if you intrude in their personal life or you make it difficult for them to enjoy a work-life balance, they will leave. But the traditionalists don't care. For them, it's work for life. They will work with one company till they go on retirement. Structure is important to them. Respect is important to them. Obedience is important to them. And so if you don't understand how these different generations perceive things, how they think and how they act, you'll really be frustrated. That is why, and if we've gone through the process, you realize that most of the challenges that are pertaining to the workplace today, if you really get this right, you'll be able to handle them easily. Because if it comes to communication, if it comes to motivating them, if you understand these generations and how they are motivated, then you'll be able to motivate them. In the Q&A, we can ask more questions, but I'm moving on because this will be tackled into detail at the Live to Lead conference, and I hope that you will be there. And how do you handle this? First of all, get an understanding of the various generations within your team. Get a proper understanding of them. You yourself, you belong to one of them. How do you lead? How do you handle issues? How do you perceive issues? What motivates you? If it comes to change, are you change averse? Do you embrace change? For the traditionalists, for example, they just resist change. So if somebody like is on your team, how do you handle the person so that any change you are introducing, you'll be able to embrace it? So getting understanding of all the generations and how they perceive things, how they think, how they act, how they behave, it will help in addressing the issue. So once again, make time to understand the generation. Sometimes it can be frustrating. You don't understand them. For the generation Z, they're always on their phones, you know. So for them, WhatsApp is the thing. Instant messages, instant feedback. So if you expect them to check their emails often, you have sent information to them via email, they should go and check. Until you prompt them via WhatsApp, it will be difficult for them to do. So understand them so that you know how to manage them. Because if you don't get it right, it will really be frustrating and it will affect productivity big time. Now, the challenge number 2 is keeping everyone on the same page. This has to do with communication. In my interaction with employees and then employers as well, there seems to be a disconnect between employees and employers. Employees think that their bosses are not communicating well enough. And the leaders also think that employees or team members are really not getting them. And there's a disconnect. But if communication is not properly done, it will really create problems because it affects productivity. Lack of communication affects productivity. It affects employee morale because you expect one thing from them, but they are doing another thing. Have you clearly communicated what you expect of them? Sometimes leaders don't open up. Sometimes we assume that our employees or team members should know what to do so long as they have the job description, but that is not the case. You should clearly indicate to them what your expectations are, and it should be a two-way communication. Say that employees understand what you expect from them, and then you also communicate exactly what you expect from them so you're on the same page. If it doesn't happen like that, it really causes problems. It affects everything. It affects achievement of targets. It affects productivity, and employees get frustrated. They don't know what you expect from them. I've had an instance where somebody came to me and lamenting seriously that he doesn't know what to do anymore. He thinks he's giving his best, but his boss thinks his best is not good enough, and it's really creating problems. So as leaders, we should open up to our team members. Whether you are managing a team of 1, a team of 2, a team of 3, or managing yourself, you still need to open up. Open up, unblock any communication channel, let it flow. It really helps because this is what is causing a lot of the misunderstandings at the workplace. And like I said, in order to communicate within your team effectively, you need to understand where each of them are coming from. And it still goes down to the generations that we talked about. All right. So in communicating with Generation Z, for example, WhatsApp, instant feedback is what they appreciate. So you don't wait till the end of the week to tell them what they did wrong or did not do right. Instantly, and they appreciate it very much. And that is why I think some organizations have done well in this. They have appreciated that social media is a way to go in terms of communicating effectively with, apart from the traditionalists and the baby boomers. I mean, those of us from Generation X to the Generation Z, I think we are more open to social media. So they have created WhatsApp groups where information is shared instantly, and anybody who doesn't understand anything gets the opportunity to ask questions and all that. And I think it's very important. So, and once again, knowing John Maxwell, the leader and the expert when it comes to communication, it also features very prominently on the agenda of the conference. So I'm sure you'll be part of it so you can learn more about how you can effectively communicate with your team. But to share with you how you can navigate through this challenge, a survey that was done among employees as to communication issues that they have and as it affects leadership. You see that on top of it, we have not recognizing employee achievements, and they're not giving clear directions. I've said that. So if you don't give employees clear directions as to what you expect them to do, there will be a disconnect, and it will really not help at the workplace. And not having time to meet with employees. There are some leaders, the team is so large, and they've never had opportunity to meet with the employees, one-on-one. It's very, very important that you have regular meetings. Of course, meetings with agenda, so that it doesn't just become long meetings that drags and is not productive. And then refusing to talk to subordinates, taking credit for others' ideas, and not knowing employees' names. You might think, this doesn't matter, but it really does. It makes them feel connected, and it makes them feel that they are part of a team, that you care about them. Oh, my boss knows my name. If it's a small team, really that is not a problem. But if it's a large team, then it becomes a problem. So how do you ensure that these issues are handled? So the reverse is true. Recognize employees when they achieve something. A tap at the back, a round of applause, openly, not really giving them money, but let them know that you know what they are doing, you know the effort they are putting into it, and that you appreciate the results they are getting, and that will really help. Challenge number 3 is keeping employees motivated and engaged. It is very difficult, especially in this age and time. And with the kind of generation that we have at the workplace coming up, it's really difficult to keep employee motivated. One leader came to me and was lamenting, how do I get my people to actually take ownership of what they do? They seem not to care. They just come to work, do what they're supposed to do, and they go. They don't go the extra mile and all that. It's all because they are not motivated enough. If employees are not motivated, it means that they are not engaged. And if they are not engaged, they don't give up their best. They just give the minimum, what is expected, and they are gone. But if you are relying on people to give you just what is expected, there's no room for growth, there's no room for improvement, there's no room for increased productivity. And so it's very important that we have strategies that will motivate employees. And it's not about money, mostly. It's not about money. There are other things that you can do to keep employees motivated. Once they are motivated, they'll be engaged. Engaged employees take ownership of what they do. They have the right attitude to work. They are happy at work. They make the workplace happy too, and it affects their team members. They give up their best all the time. They go the extra mile. So you would, as a leader, you will want to have motivated and engaged employees on your team, but it will not just happen. You need to put strategies in place. You need to take actions that will make it happen. So what do you do as a leader so that you can keep employees motivated and engaged? There are 7 ways that you can look at it. First of all, open up the communication channels. Please open it up. Just whatever stumbling block, whatever blockade, whatever ceiling you have put there, just crash it. Just let it go. Unblock all the communication channels. Let them feel free to come to you at any time to express themselves. No matter how little you think or how trivial you think the issue is, give them the opportunity to open up to you all the time, to come to you so that you will hear them, and give them feedback, and let them also be able to give you feedback. And make your goals very clear to them. Tell them exactly where you are going. Set the vision clear to them. Let them know where you are going as a team and the part they have to play as a team member to help you get there. And once they know that, it will help them to focus on the goals, and it will help them to be engaged. They know that, oh, I'm contributing to a greater good. If it happens like that, they are engaged, and as they're engaged, they always give up their best. They find ways to get things done, and also recognize their achievements. One of the issues that came up, communication is, was the fact that employees think that employees don't, or leaders don't recognize their achievements. So make it a point to recognize it. When they do a good job, give them a thumbs up, a pat at the back, a round of applause, let them know that you appreciate what they are doing. And please let them feel heard. When you talk to employers, I listen to employees, I listen to my team members. But if you talk to the team members, the story is different. Are your employees being heard? Do they feel that they are heard? If not, I tell you, they will be there maybe, and they'll still be searching. If they get opportunity, they will leave. All right. And then also encourage chit chat. It shouldn't always be about work. Yes, we are at the workplace, but you are human beings working and they have issues. They should be able to come to you, to open up to you, and to share their issues with you, to share their challenges with you, what is happening to them in terms of their work life, in terms of their family and all that. Make the workplace a happy place. Yes, it doesn't mean that by doing this, you allow them to do whatever they want. But of course, you have set the goals clear, and you are giving them the opportunity to share their views. And so they feel that they are part of the team. They feel that they belong, and you inspire them, because as a leader, you should inspire them. You yourself should be motivated, and sometimes it can be difficult for you to be motivated, and then also help your employees to feel motivated. But as a leader, you really need to go all out and ensure that your team members are motivated. And some of these things you can do. It's not really much. It's the little things that you do that makes them feel that they belong, that you care about them. Until they know that you care about them, they really would not care about what happens within the team. So let them know that you care about them. And the little things that you do, their birthdays, send them messages, recognize them. Some of these things really go a long way to keep them motivated and engaged. And like I said, engaged employees always give up their best. Number 4, helping employees to achieve work-life balance. And I tell you, this is huge for all of us, from the CEO to the new person who have just come to the organization. Achieving work-life balance is key, and it's really causing a lot of problems, because if it is not well handled, it's going to affect productivity. People should be able to take care of their health. They should be able to take care of their families, their children. They should be able to take care of their friends, and still be able to work and work effectively. We should understand that working long hours doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting results. So let employees understand that it's okay to have a family. It's okay to pursue other things apart from work. It's okay. Let them know that it's okay. They can pursue work-life balance. And otherwise, when they are always at work, they'll be so frustrated, and the energy level, morale will go down, and it will definitely affect productivity. So you would want to encourage your team members as a leader to achieve work-life balance. How do you help them to do this? First, start with a culture. What is the culture of the organization in terms of coming to work and staying at work? Some organizations, it has become, whether written or unwritten, a culture that if you stay long at work, then it means that you'll be successful. We shouldn't send that message to the employees. 8 to 5, if the person wants to do whatever they want to do, if you have clear goals, they will be able to achieve much. But some will stay long after 5, 8, and they are still there, thinking that the more hours they spend at work, then they will see them and promote them. If you're a leader, you send this message to them, you are not helping them to achieve work balance. So assess your culture and make sure that, let them know that it's okay to close at 5, go to work, to the house, take care of your family and your children. And also educate employees, create awareness that it's okay to enjoy life outside of home and outside of the workplace, I beg your pardon. And also encourage your team members to switch off after work. Please don't expect them to be answering emails after work or answering your phones, your calls after work. Please let them know that when work closes, is okay. Let them switch off, and don't encourage them to take work home. It's really not help. It doesn't help them to achieve work-life balance. And lead by example. You yourself close early. Let your employees leave. I see that some of the employees, even the ones that I work with, when I'm in the office and sometimes I want to do something beyond 5, so I'm there and working, I see that they're always there. I tell them, you can leave. They don't want to leave as long as I'm there. And if your team members are like that, then please leave so that they can also leave, right? And ask employees what they want. What do they want? Sometimes people just want that they will have leave days, that they will be able to take care of their families without feeling guilty of leaving work. When it's 5 and they are gone, they shouldn't feel guilty about it, right? And encourage employees to take their leave, please. It's not for nothing that the framers of the labor law gave 15 working days leave minimum. So let them take the leave so that they can rest and they can have time with their families and keep a work balance. Embrace flexibility. If they don't have to come to work. So long as you have set the goals, you have given them what they need to do, they can work from home and still achieve results. Allow them so that they can still have time to take care of their families. Encourage them to work efficiently, not more work. It's very important. And let the employees know that they can bring work home to work. Let me say this. Sometimes we think that, oh, this is workplace. Leave your personal issues at home. Please, people are people. They have personal issues. Whether we recognize it or not, personal issues affect their jobs. So give them room to express their personal issues when they come to work. So don't say that leave personal issues at home and come to work. It cannot be, because they are persons and they have issues. So encourage them to air their views. Let them be able to come to you to share what is bothering them so that you can help them find solutions to it. And promote health initiatives. Very important. Now, the number 5 challenge that I see is dealing with mental health of employees. This has become a huge issue, especially in this age that things are very difficult. People are struggling to make ends meet. Transportation costs and any other things, how to put food on the table, especially the breadwinners, is becoming very difficult. And all these things have affected their mental health. So if you ignore the mental health of your employees, you are really not helping them, and it will definitely affect productivity. There was a research that was done by Oracle, and it shows that 76% of workers believe their company should do more to support their mental health. And it is also said that 78% believe that the pandemic has negatively affected their mental health. So whether we like it or not, people's mental health have been affected, and we need to make room for them. How do we do that? You need to make mental health a priority. As a leader, care about how they are feeling mentally, not only just physically. And then also enhance mental health support. Let them open up. Let them be able to come and cry in front of you without feeling ashamed or guilty. Let them air their views, whatever is bothering them, and be seen to be supportive. And in fact, be supportive, and it will really help them. Create opportunities for them to distress. There are organizations that have happy hours. Even if your team alone, you can create something like that, happy hours, where they will just distress. It can be lunch together, it can be popcorn together, whatever it is. It doesn't have to cost much, but it creates room for people to just distress. Some have life walks and all that, and companies are embracing this. It's all part of helping them distress, and I think it will help. Measure and hold accountable. Find way to find out how people are doing mentally. It can be done through surveys, and then have a way of helping them deal with it. It's very important. Challenge number 6, last but one, managing employee performance issues. This is a whole topic that we can spend time on, but let me just say that performance issues are real. And as a leader, you need to understand and be able to assess the performance of your team members without feeling guilty. Because sometimes we think that if the person is not pulling their weight, we don't want to hurt their feelings, so we don't say anything, and it fester on. By the time you realize productivity is affected, you are not able to achieve your targets, and it comes back to haunt you. But put systems in place where you can assess performance. It should be regular. You shouldn't wait at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, or at the end of the year to assess performance, but let it be on a regular basis. Check in with the employees, not micromanaging them, but once you have given them targets, you've set deadlines for them, let them know how they are doing, and then go back to them and check on them. It really helps. So let me share, set clear performance expectations, embrace a coaching system, and then avoid micromanagement, provide regular feedback and support, be willing to make the hard decisions. When you have assessed the performance, you have given them room to improve. There's what we call performance improvement plan. You have put the person on the performance improvement plan, providing training, counseling, coaching, discipline, and yet you don't see improvement. It's time to let the person go. Either you do it yourself or somebody else has to do it. You just have to make that hard decision to let the person go if it comes to that point. That is after you have given the person the opportunity to improve on the performance. And last but definitely not least, managing leading change. And this is very, very critical. The workplace today, if anything at all, COVID and the pandemic has really taught us anything, is because it has taught us that change is inevitable and the workplace cannot remain static for a long time. Things have changed. And the way we do things, how does change come about? All the aspects of the job. It can be systems, it can be processes, it can be the job roles themselves, it can be behaviors, it can be reporting structure, it can be performance reviews, it can be compensation, or even location. These days, people are doing remote working. And so all these things are changes that we need to manage as a leader. First of all, you have to accept the change and be able to help your team members to also accept it and live with it. But how do you manage it? Because there are some team members who don't like change. If, for example, you have a traditionalist and a baby boomer, they don't like change. They actually resist change. So what would you do to ensure that change happens and then they're able to embrace it? Master your ability to embrace change yourself and then model that so that they will also accept change, inspire them to get the change, and then have a strategy. Oftentimes, when we don't have a strategy, that is when it becomes difficult to lead change. So have a strategy to be in place, and then be optimistic about it. Help your team members to see the positives of the change, and then check in with your team often to find out whether they are doing well, how they are coping with the change and all that. Sometimes leaders just, the change just happens and we leave employees to fend for themselves. It's not the right thing to do. It will really not help. So just give them room to accept the change and check in on them often to find out how they are coping with the change and inspire them, let them see the positives, and I'm sure it will help. So in summary, we have talked about the 7 most common workplace challenges per my estimation, per my experience, and my conversation with leaders of industry. And these are first, managing the different generations at the workplace. This can be very frustrating. And keeping everyone on the same page, communication. Keeping employees motivated and engaged, very important. Motivated employees are engaged employees. Engaged employees take ownership, they go the extra mile, and they increase productivity. Helping employees to achieve work-life balance, let them know that it's okay to take their leaves and create room for them to leave work at work and go home without feeling guilty. Dealing with the mental health of employees, it has become very challenging these days, so help them to deal with that. Sometimes it manifests in stress, it manifests in tardiness. If they are mentally not healthy, that is where they will find an excuse not to come to work. Whether good or bad, they will still avoid work. And managing employee performance, please set clear performance goals and guide them through the process to achieve them. And if you have put together a plan to improve on performance that is not working, please let the person go without feeling guilty. And managing and leading change is one of the challenges. And as a leader, you need to first of all embrace change and then have strategy in place to help your people go through the change and checking on them to find out how they are doing in terms of the change that is happening. So I will end here and then take your questions. And I'm sure most of the things you will ask, the questions you ask, will be able to throw more light on some of the issues that I've shared. Thank you for your attention. And so I'm open for your questions right now. Thank you. Right. Sam, if you are there.
Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
Right,
and
so
because I was writing a lot of notes, so when you even finish, I was still writing.
I want to give people more opportunity to ask questions. so we
All
can
right.
keep the conversation
So
going.
okay, people,
So,
please go ahead and let's see your questions. Let me invite Kofi in before I continue, and I'm going to share a few things about Live to Lead. So Kofi, go ahead and let me see who is here.
Hello, leader.
Step into leadership.
Welcome to Live to Lead 2022.
This event is an opportunity for growth. This event is an opportunity for you to invest in your leadership. This event is an opportunity for you to make the most of this year. And it all happens right on your computer. We're inviting you to learn from a few intentional people that I've invited to share the stage.
Eric Thomas, Dr. Tim Elmo, Doris Kearns Goodwin, and Patrick Lencioni. And in Ghana, we have Patrick Ewa, Gwyneth Jima Ado, Kathleen Addy, Patricia Obonai, and James Ebo White.
At our virtual event, there will be opportunities to participate in Q&A, live chat with other growth-minded leaders, engage in polls and other audience engagement tools so that you're a part of the conversation. We've made this so not only can you join, but your team can join with us also. So join me as we bring you Live to Lead, a virtual event, and together, let's make the most of this year. I don't promise you it will be easy, but I do promise you it will be worthwhile.
Live to Lead Ghana is brought to you by CTL Africa, Yalpebi Group, and SJA Consult.
All right, thank you very much, Kofi, for that intro to Live to Lead. Let me just share a few more things, then I would come to take your questions. Now, this year's Live to Lead is going to be very, very, very explosive. There's going to be great learning, the whole day learning. We're going to have, in the first morning, we're going to have the Ghana session, which will be led by Patrick Ewa, and we are going to focus on leading with integrity. And he's going to share with us the stories and how Patrick is able to build a whole university based on integrity, where people can write exams without supervision. How was this institutionalized so that you can learn lessons from that for your organization? And we have other speakers, Uncle Ebo White, Patrick Chiobondai, we have Gwen Ado, we have Kathleen Ade. All these leaders will join Patrick to discuss the subject, share their experiences in a way that will give you practical tools on how to institutionalize integrity into your leadership, into your organization. So please note that a lot will be learned from that session. Then from the international speakers, John C. Maxwell is going to talk about his new book that is coming up. He's going to share the lessons of a book that is yet to come, which is the 16 Laws of Communication. So he's going to share with us lessons on communication, the things that Patricia has mentioned, the second major challenge at workplace. How do you deal with, and you're going to have the communicator himself. John is reputed to be one of the best communicators, and he's going to share these lessons. You don't want to miss that. We will also have Eric Thomas, who is going to speak on the topic, You Owe You. Ignite your power, your purpose, and your why. So he's going to say key lessons and principles on how to turn a mentality of struggling into strength. This is going to be great. How you can change your mind and adopt a winning attitude by developing your internal powers, developing your purpose and your why. So don't miss that. Tim Elmore is going to go much deep into the different generations that Patricia mentioned as one of the first challenges. And he has written a whole book, and he's going to share some of the experiences and the research on all the generations that Patricia just mentioned briefly. and to help leaders to go through and understand each one of these generations and how to deal with them. Then we're going to have Doris Kearns, who is a presidential historian, share for us the key insights from leading from the top, looking at leaders at the top, what are the challenges they are going through, as she's been writing about presidents across the world. And so she would know a thing or two about the top leaders. That's why you have to bring all your CEOs so that they can understand what it is. Patrick Lancioni is a big one, and he's going to talk about the 6 types of working geniuses, a better way to understand your gift, your frustrations, and your gift. How do you work together? How do you use your own skills and individuality to work together? So I just give you a few quick tops. John Maxwell would also speak, and in fact, he's going to speak twice. He's going to speak about how to blow the cap off your capacity. How do you become amazing, get more results by, breaking the limits that you have put on your capacity. Now, I've gone through some of these things for you. We're going to, in the weeks ahead, we are going to share a bit more so that you can register. Please talk to your HR people, talk to your MDs, talk to your bosses. And even if they're not going to sponsor you, 800 cities, $7.99 or $79 a year to invest in yourself is worth the investment. With all these people coming to share their experiences, you can just Google as I speak to you now, and you'll find that the premium ticket to go for this event is $1,799, $1,800. People are paying to go, and they are going to have the same lessons we are going to have for $79. Okay, so this is good value we've negotiated for, and we encourage you to register now. Please bring your teams. It's going to be very powerful. People who have attended Live to Lead over the years, this is the 6th year we are doing, and there are some organizations that constantly bring people. We have Goldfields supporting us, other partners coming on board. UBA, EcoBank is one of the partners. KPMG is also on board, and we have a few more. Village of Hope, an orphanage, is every year bringing people and students to Live to Lead because of the value that they see, and they are even partnering with us. And many, many, many more. The Global Share Alliance is also on board with us. These are organizations that believe in leadership, and we have many more organizations joining. So thank you very much. Let Patricia take some water as I go through the people present here, and let's see what questions and comments are coming up. All right, so I have okay, Daniel, I recognize you. Francis Kwesi Adenyon is here. And Geshon, I hope your echo was resolved. It was not from here, but I don't know. I hope it was resolved. Francis Owusu, and I hope nobody else got echoes. Francis Owusu from Aguna Ashanti was here. Nelson Gibson Blite says, I'm with you. Emmanuel Willow Willendor was here. George Abatazi Bagoro from Naduli was here. Albert Okran, watch from Medina. Cynthia Martinson, her lordship, is here with us. Willie Glay, watching from Golokwati in the Volta region. Willie, thank you for watching. Doris is here. I need you to share your comments and your questions because Patricia has a lot to share. So please, what are you facing at workplace? Share with us the lessons you've learned. What are your key takeaways? What are you going to do differently from now onwards? What are the challenges you are facing at your workplace? Please feel free to share and we'll discuss them. Kwame Asian, he says, very detailed analysis and diverse information. Thank you very much, Kwame, from the US. We have Francis Satuaro Francis. Okay, I hope I'm pronounced that well. Conrad Kakraba, learning a lot from the presentation, he says, thank you. And Sunny Dale says, insightful. All right. Tete Junior says, thank you very much for the detailed presentation. Abu Muhammad Sadas, wow, I'm very glad to be part of this today. Good. Tete Junior says, can we know the cost of Live to Lead? Live to Lead is 799 Ghana cedis, or $79. So please, Kofi, share the link in the chat and let people go on the platform now, and you can just register online, either by Momo, by transfer, or by your bank card. You can register right now. And by the way, when you register immediately, you have bonus of the whole of the videos of last year's Live to Lead as your bonus. Is there for you now from today. The whole of all the presentations for last year's Live to Lead is provided for everybody who registered as a bonus. So you have 2 Live to Leads and that bonus you're going to keep for the rest of your life. Okay, the last year's bonus. And this year's presentation, apart from the 7th, you would have all the videos for 3 more days available for you in your personalized portal. So there's a lot to gain. Please register and register for your teams. Okay, Gation says the echo was resolved. Thank you very much. Eric Kwame Ansari says, great program. Thanks for great lessons shared. My life is all about work. No personal or family life. Coupled with this, my weekends are very eventful. I must just adjust. All right. So maybe Patricia will give you a bit more tips on how to make your life work, and not work. Vera Nutako says, moi aussi. All right. Vera is sharing with you, Kwame. She also, her life is work. Please, Vera and Eric need help from Patricia. Alice Day, great presentation. All right, so guys, you have the links to Live to Lead Ghana's website and the contacts you can have. If you also share the link for the Leader Pass so that people can just go and by the way, you can go and from now this evening, if you go on the Live to Lead link, you can actually sample some of the bonuses. You can go there now, even before you pay. You can sample some of the bonuses. So go onto our website, on the Live to Lead website, which Kofi has shared in the platform. Okay, Ebenezer says communication factor at the workplace is an issue that cannot be overemphasized. Many bosses will do well to respect their subordinates. Thank you very much. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, which means Patricia has done a great job, but we'll bring her back to comment on some of the comments, especially I can see the work-life balance is a big deal. So I'll bring her up, but maybe Sarah is also here. So I'll bring Sarah also up just in case she has some questions or comments to share. But as for me, I've learned a lot. The generation gap is an issue. Communication is an issue. Keeping employees motivated is an issue. Work-life balance is an issue. Mental health is an issue. Performance management, I've noted that, and leading change. These are great lessons and indeed very, very important. All right, Cynthia is asking, please date and time for Live to Lead. Live to Lead is on October 7th. And by the way, Cynthia Martinson, thank you very much. We've seen your registration. You've already registered for Live to Lead. Thank you very much. We've seen it. And by the way, Cynthia is always, since we started, every year she's at Live to Lead. She's a lawyer every year at Live to Lead. Thank you very much, Cynthia, for being a loyal participant. We hope you will share some of your growth lessons with other people to bring them on board. So it is on October 7th. It starts at 9 a.m. We have a break at 11:30, and then we reconvene at 1. So 9 a.m., we break at 11:30. You will have your lunch from 11:30 to 1. And then we come back at 1 where we join the Atlanta, because when we start at 9:30, we'll have all the Ghana discussions because the Atlanta people will be sleeping. Then we would reconvene at 1 when they are now up and ready. Then John Maxwell will start, and we will have a blast up to 5 p.m. There will be short break intervals to a level. You have coffee, and there'll be interactive. It will be interactive. You have your virtual notebook. You would be able to send your Q&A. The team will be available, and then we would also reconvene after 5 for 30 minutes to have a discussion with all the great speakers from Ghana. So thank you very much, Patricia and
Yes.
Sarah. Over to you.
Maybe you want Sarah to.
Yes. Thank you so much for the generation. For me, that is really key, because when I look at my nieces and nephews, as well as my daughter, sometimes I don't understand them. I don't understand them.
I know that feeling.
Yes, this presentation is really key, and I'm also very much looking forward to what I can learn from Leave to Lead to be able to navigate with these generations. I am a baby boomer. So I really need to go through the details of what you have shared to see where I need to adapt to be able to understand the current generation, the generation Z and X's very well. So thank you for me, that is my biggest takeaway. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Thank you too.
So, thank you very much. There's another question for you apart from work-life balance. Ivanske is asking, I want to know if it is wrong to close before your boss, who always stays over after long hours. All right. So your boss who doesn't want to go home, is it good to leave him at the office and go, or you should wait till he doesn't close? All right. So we'll leave Patricia to address.
Right. This is a big issue. I can really relate well with the one who has just asked this question about leaving the boss. That is why I said that for me, when I realized that my people don't want to leave because I'm still in the office, I just have to pack up and go. And I always tell them that you don't have to stay. You should go home, take care of your family. And sometimes I have to drum it home, go home, so they can get the message. It's not wrong. That's why I say you don't have to feel guilty. The most important thing is within the working hour of 8 to 5, you have done what you're supposed to do. You see, the culture where people think that to get promoted, you have to stay on long hours at work so that your boss will see that you are working. Sometimes they're really not working. Just on their computer, if not chatting, they're doing something else, not really working. So as leaders, we should allow our employees to go home when it's time to go home without them feeling guilty. So my dear, it's not wrong. So long as you have delivered what you're supposed to deliver in the course of the day, please feel free to go. You shouldn't feel guilty. It's okay. For me, I really encourage them to do that. And I would really entreat all leaders to send that message to them. It's a culture thing, like I said. If you send a message, whether knowingly or unknowingly, that you get rewarded for staying on the job for long hours, then you are really creating problems for people, and people will stay without really working. So allow them to go. So my dear, it's not wrong. You can leave, just that you just have to do what you're supposed to do and make sure you deliver. And these days, people should focus on results, not just the process or even the effort that people put in. Is the person delivering the results? If, for example, within the 8 hours, there's something the person has to do, and the person is able to do it within 6 hours, why do you even keep the person? You mean let the person go and enjoy the family, enjoy life outside of the workplace. Yes. On the issue of work-life balance is a big issue, and people feel guilty about it. But as whether you are the leader, leaders themselves, and also those of us who are team members, we all have that issue. Sometimes we think that, oh, we have to work and we are not able to deliver, and it gives us stress. I see people who literally on Monday morning they are stressed out. You can see it in their face that they are stressed out on Monday morning. They have just come back from weekend, but they are still stressed out. So if you don't keep a balance, a healthy balance, you will always be stressed out, and stress has its own health complications. So you don't want to do that. So please, what do you have to do when you have to take leave? Please take your leave, of course, but it's with the consent of your boss, though. But you need to take your leave, and then don't bring work home. Don't bring work home. I see people, or I hear people, when they are at home with their spouses, they will still be talking about work. Really, it's not the best. So leave work at work, and when you go home, know that you are off. Don't feel guilty. If you have a work phone separate from your personal phone and it rings, don't pick it, and let people know that this is it, and don't feel guilty about it, because God forbid though, but if you become so stressed out and you have health complications, and God forbid you fall down and don't get up again, the business will move on. You are replaceable. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and take care of your health as well. Don't compromise on it.
Thank you so very much. There are a few more questions, and that point is very, very important. I used to have a boss who he felt like the whole organization on his head, and sometimes things will go, he'll hit his hand on the table and say, if I'm not here, what will happen to this organization? Everything is me, me, me. And actually, he was saying this, he also enjoyed that everything is on him, because sometimes he would just deliberately block things so that people will come and beg him, so he would show his scratchy powers. Some of us are like that. I tell you, one day we just came to the office and he was not there. Where was he? By the time we heard, he was gone. And he was a Muslim. So the next morning he was buried. I mean, not the next morning, actually. In fact, he had to be, because of the rules, he had to be even smuggled across the border, because he was from another country, smuggled across the border so he can get to his hometown quickly and be buried. When the bosses came back, we had only 1 minute of silence. One minute of silence. And the next question was, where are the files he was working on? Who can do his job?
Work continues.
Work continues. So you who feels that the whole work is because if you are not there, the work would not go on, I can promise you the life will go on without you. Okay, because before you came, the work was there, and you will leave, the work will be there. And everybody will be fine. You are not the only one who knows everything. All the things you are hiding, and you are thinking that, you are hoarding information, you're deceiving yourself. The work will go on. All right. So thank you, Patricia, for sharing that. And Douglas is asking, as a leader, how best can you understand the current generation at work if they don't open up and are self-centered? All right. You can see the direction of the question. If they don't open up and they are self-centered, how best can you understand them? That's a question from Douglas. Let me add this one so you can answer the two. Question from Aram Agozi. He says, great lessons. How does a leader who always discusses of personal problems at work ensure this opportunity is not abused? So how do you ensure that opportunity is not abused? All right. Kwame Apau says, that is it. The business will move on. Work but don't die because of work. All
I
right.
like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yes. Work. Don't die because of work. Okay, Patricia, 2 questions for you.
Yes. So if they don't open up, how would you know? How would you understand them? And they're self-centered. Yes. Especially Generation Z, they are self-centered, self-directed. They are individualistic. Everything is about them. So you as a leader should learn about how these different generations behave, how they think, how they act. And this information research has been done, scientific research to give you indication of how they behave and what they expect from you. So you have to learn, like we are learning now, and like it will be done at the conference. So you get the information and you learn. That is the only way. They may not open up to you, but as a leader, you want to understand them, because if you don't understand them, first of all, you'll be frustrated. Secondly, you will not get them to achieve the result that you want them to achieve. So it will be in your best interest to understand them, whether they open up or not. Understand them. The onus is on you as a leader to understand them. For them, they can up and leave, and they don't really. If they realize that their, especially Generation Z, their personal values are in conflict with the organization, they will just leave. And sometimes they will come across as disrespectful because they want to share their opinions, no matter who is listening. They don't care, So if you understand them, then you will manage their excesses so that it doesn't spill over to affect other team members. So I would say that you make it a point to learn about their characteristics, their perspectives, what they values, how they are motivated, how they expect to be communicated to, and all that. If you do that, it will help you to understand them. And on the issue of personal problems not shared, not being abused, yeah, of course, there should be a limit. And there are some people who would definitely try to abuse it no matter what. But for the sake of those who would genuinely need you to listen to them, be open, but set the boundaries and set the limits. Especially if you are a lady and your boss is the opposite sex, or the other way around too. You want to make sure that you set boundaries, because sometimes by the time you realize you are crying on, or the person is crying on your shoulders, and by the time you realize, the devil takes over. So just make sure that you set the boundaries and let them know that, yes, I'm here to help, but there's a limit to which I can help. And if it's outside of your help, sometimes you just refer them. That is why we have psychologists and people like that, counselors. There are some organizations who have invited counselors. And personally, I've had the experience of my boss, Mr. Samuel Adetola. God bless you, sir. One of the best bosses I've ever worked with. When I had a personal issue, he personally engaged a psychologist so I could go to the person and talk to the person. And his way of helping, you don't have to maybe do it yourself if you can't, but find the person help and let somebody be willing to help. I think it will be bad. Please set the boundaries.
Thank you very much. More questions are coming. We still have a few more minutes. So Douglas is asking, how do you create work balance when you have signed performance contract with your employers? Okay.
That's a good one.
So that's from Douglas. And then Emmanuel is asking, as a leader, how do you balance giving room to staff to work and not micromanage? So give room. So that's the second question. Let me add Evans's own so that we can take it together. Is it right to always have to prompt your boss on all actions pending with him or her? In this case, what is it that that leader lacking, and how can we help him or her? All right. Okay. So prompting your boss for things happening. Okay. So That's why we are all leaders now. So, Patricia, over to you.
Okay, so let me take it from bottom up, like somebody will say. All right. So, how do you help your boss, whom you always have to prompt to take action? And thank God I had great bosses, but I also made sure that whenever I went to my boss for any assignment, I would note it down and then I'll ask for deadline. When do you expect me to complete this? And then I also ask about when this project is supposed to be completed. And then I'll ask, when should I check in with you? So once I get that, I know that, okay, if I wait, if, for example, it tells me that check in with me, maybe when after you have submitted, check in with me 3 days. 3 days time, I'll go and check in with the person if he has any feedback from me. And then maybe he can set a new target and all that. So you will help the person by, first of all, taking notes and asking for deadlines, and then asking for when the project is supposed to be completed, and asking for when you should check in with them. And by the time you do that continuously, if the person is truly a leader, he will come to himself and appreciate that he needs to back up if he's always giving excuses and you are always coming to him and not getting the feedback that you deserve. So help him, and help yourself by always asking for deadlines and checking in, asking for when you should check in. I think it will help. Thank you. The next one has to do with how do you give room to people to work and not micromanage them? It's all about giving them deadlines or timelines, as people used to call it. So once you assign tasks to them, and I know that you also have somebody that you you report to. So, for example, if the project should be completed within a week and you are assigning it or delegating it to a team member, you are setting targets for the team member, maybe 3 days, so that when the team comes back to you 3 days time, you can also work on it and forward it to your boss to get it completed. So always give them timelines so that they know that they're supposed to complete at this time, and you give yourself enough room so that if by the 3rd day you've not heard from them, then you follow up. That way it will still not affect your ultimate deadline because you gave them allowance, right? But it will not be good to assign them the work without any deadline, and every minute you are on them. Have you finished? Have you done it? And if you explain clearly what they're supposed to do, you don't really have to micromanage them. But I understand that some people, no matter what, you tell them what to do, and you still have to tell them over and over again. That is when, as a leader, you have to coach and counsel and help them out of the situation. And I always tell my team members that, look, if I'm giving you something, I expect you to write it down, because human beings, we tend to forget things, no matter how sharp and smart you think you are. So write it down. So encourage them to always take notebooks and write them down, and give them clear instructions as to what you expect them to do and what your expectations are, and then give them clear deadlines. But give yourself allowance so that if by the deadline you give them, they are not complete, then you can go back and check in on them. I think that will help. And the other one has to do with what performance contract. Okay, all right. So you have performance contract, you have deliverables, and you have time frames within what you should deliver. It all boils down to managing your time well and ensuring that you assign or you prioritize your task. Yes, it's performance contract, but it's still work that needs to be done. So prioritize your work and make sure that you give room for other things, because believe me, contract or no contract, you cannot compromise on your health, you cannot compromise on your family. It was a former boss of Coca-Cola, I've forgotten the name, who said that in life, everybody has been given 5 balls that you are juggling. You are throwing up in the air and catching it and all that. And the 5 balls, one is work, one is family, one is health, one is, I think, religion, and the other is friends. And he said that as you are throwing the balls up and down, work is made of rubber. So when it falls, you can pick it up again. But family, faith, relationship, and health. When they fall, they are made of glass. When they fall, they shatter. You can't do anything about them. So I think they should guide us so that we don't sacrifice those important aspects of our lives for work. But I appreciate that, yes, you have contracts, we have deliverables, but let's apportion our time. Let's prioritize. Let's practice time management. Let's use all the tools, and it will help us. Maybe you should find time to talk about time management as well. If you've not done that already, it will really help people manage their contracts well.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And we appreciate you. I am not seeing any more comments here, which means that people have absorbed very well. So Kofi, share with us your last video and let us come to the closing remarks. After the Live to Lead video, we'll come to Patricia to give us her closing remarks, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much. A lot of learning has gone into this evening. All right, thanks.
Hello, leader.
Step into leadership.
Welcome to Live to Lead 2022.
This event is an opportunity for growth. This event is an opportunity for you to invest in your leadership. This event is an opportunity for you to make the most of this year. And it all happens right on your computer. We're inviting you to learn from a few intentional people that I've invited to share the stage.
Eric Thomas, Dr. Tim Elmo, Doris Kearns Goodwin, and Patrick Lencioni. And in Ghana, we have Patrick Ewa, Gwyneth Jima-Ado, Kathleen Addy, Patricia Obonai, and James Ebo-White.
At our virtual event, there will be opportunities to participate in Q&A, live chat with other growth-minded leaders, engage in polls, and other audience engagement tools so that you're a part of the conversation. We've made this so not only can you join, but your team can join with us also. So join me as we bring you Live to Lead, a virtual event, and together, let's make the most of this year. I don't promise you it will be easy, but I do promise you it will be worthwhile.
Live to Lead Ghana is brought to you by CTL Africa, Yalpebi Group, and SJA Consults.
Thank you very much, Kofi. And Patricia, I want to thank you so much. We have just a couple of minutes to give us your closing remarks. Final word.
Right. Thank you. Let me thank you once again for the opportunity to be part of this big conversation. And I'm appreciative of the participants and the insights they've shared and the questions they've asked, which have given me the opportunity to even expound on the issues the more. What I would say is that, and I'm just stressing this, and I'm making it my life goal to help you. So in case you have, you can route it through Sam. If you want to learn how to keep a healthy balance, please get in touch with Sam. Will get in touch with me, and then we can have a conversation on that. And in terms of managing your time well, I'm sure Sam will come up with something that will help us all, because the issues are real. And as leaders, let's appreciate where the staff are coming from, where our team members are coming from. Let's empathize with them. Let's put ourselves in their shoes and get to understand them. That way, they will feel cared for, they will feel loved, they will feel appreciated, and that is when you get the best out of them. Sometimes you want to get the best out of people, but there are little things that you can do as leader to get the best out of them. So let's understand, take time, make an effort to appreciate your team members. Communication is very key. Understanding the different generations, I cannot overemphasize that. So I encourage you once again, let's meet at the Live to Lead conference. Let's learn more about communication. Let's learn more about the generations and how we can really manage them effectively so that we can go to sleep and sleep very well. Thank you for the opportunity once again. God bless us all.
God bless us all, and thank you so much. Cynthia says excellent presentation, and Kwame Apau says great presentation part. Performance contract or no performance contract, man must stay healthy and sound. Thank you very much. And on that note, we want to thank all of you for joining. I want to thank the team. Sarah, I thank you, Kofi, and Abigail, for all the support. And I want to thank Patricia for coming again and promising to come again. And there's more work for her.
I'm always promising, aren't I?
Yes, and also he has given you an offer. Just contact me. If you pay a small fee, I will connect you to her for life work balance. On that note, all of us have a good night. Tomorrow is Sunday. Let's go thank God for our lives, and let's go to church to give thanks to God for taking good care of us. Have a very good night, and see you again next week when we bring you another great presentation on leadership. God be with us. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, leader.
Step into leadership.
Welcome to Live to Lead 2022.
This event is an opportunity for growth. This event is an opportunity for you to invest in your leadership. This event is an opportunity for you to make the most of this year. And it all happens right on your computer. We're inviting you to learn from a few intentional people that I've invited to share the stage.
Eric Thomas, Dr. Tim Elmo, Darius Kearns Goodwin, and Patrick Lencioni. And in Ghana, we have Patrick Ewa, Gwyneth Jima Ado, Kathleen Addy, Patricia Obonai, and James Ebo White.
At our virtual event, there will be opportunities to participate in Q&A, live chat with other growth-minded leaders, engage in polls and other audience engagement tools so that you're a part of the conversation. We've made this so not only can you join, but your team can join with us also. So join me as we bring you Live to Lead, a virtual event, and together, let's make the most of this year. I don't promise you it will be easy, but I do promise you it will be worthwhile.
Live to Lead Ghana is brought to you by CTL Africa, Yao Pebi Group, and SJA Consults.